Hello everyone. How's it going? This is Azrin here. Welcome to another Gujarati lesson. Today we're going to talk about how to introduce yourself. If you're listening to this on the podcast, the Let's Learn Gujarati with Me podcast, please note that there is a video version of this as well on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, there's a video on Spotify as well. So there are some slides and visuals that accompany the lesson. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, well, you can just watch the video. So that's pretty straightforward. Today, we're going to talk about how to share your name, nationality, where you live, your profession, your age, your interests and hobbies, and just in general, how you're doing. I don't know if we'll get through all of this in the video. I might chop this up into two, depending on how long the video is going. Let's jump right in. So if you want to ask someone, what's your name? You can say, Tamaru naam su che. Tamaru naam su che. One thing I'll point out, I've said this before, I think, but if not, I'll say it now. This word here, the word su means what, but it's actually written shu. Tamaru naam shu che, but basically everyone's going to say su for the word shu. The letter sh, like that sh sound in Gujarati, that sh, sh sound, pretty often changes to a s, like an s, like a sa sound. So tamaru naam su che. To say my name is pretty straightforward. Maru naam, blah, 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 che. Maru naam Sam che, maru naam Rahul che, maru naam Azrin che, maru naam whatever your name is. If you're asking someone how they are, this is something you probably know. It's one of the most basic Gujarati sentences, something that a lot of people already know. Game cho. Game cho, right? Game cho. You could add tame before if you want to. Tame game cho, that's fine as well. To reply to that question, we say hu majama chu. Hu majama chu. Of course, there are other ways to answer too, but this is one very common way to answer. Huma jamachu. I'm doing well. I'm doing good. Huma jamachu. I'll add one little thing here. This game cho, if you want to make it more informal, right, you can say game che. Game che. Game che is more informal. You're talking to a child or to a friend, for example, you could say game che as opposed to game cho. Moving on. You want to ask someone where they're from? Tame kya thi cho. Tame kya thi cho. And you can say hu Canada, hu US, hu whatever country. Thi chu. Hu country, thi chu. Word per word translates to I, country, from, am. Sounds kind of funny. I, Canada, from, am. Backwards, in a sense, in English. In the question, tame kya thi cho, if you go word per word, it translates to you where from are. Tu tame kya thi cho. You where from are. Moving on, what do you do for work? Tame shu kaam karo cho. Tame su kaam karo cho. Right? What do you do for work? Hu doctor chu, hu whatever you are, right? Hu shikshak chu, I'm a teacher. Hu whatever job you do, of course. Hu vakil chu, I'm a lawyer. Hu something chu. Okay, couple more. Tame kya raho cho? Tame kya raho cho? Hu Canada ma rahu chu. So where tame kya raho cho is where do you live? Tame kya raho cho. Where do you live? And then hu, whatever country or whatever place. Ma rahu chu. Hu Canada ma rahu chu. Fun fact. Get my little handy dandy marker out. In words like raho means you live. Okay, tame raho. There's a ha sound in the middle. Raho. Okay. Ha in Gujarati, if it's in the middle of a word, is often dropped. So it might sound like tame kya ro cho. Or where do I live in Canada has a ha as well. Hu Canada ma rahu chu. That hu in rahu might get dropped and it might sound like ro. Hu Canada ma rahu chu. Depends on the person. But ha in the middle of a word is often dropped. Often. As a fun fact. Okay, moving on. Tamne શું કરવું ગમે છે? તમને શું કરવું ગમે છે? Means what do you like to do? Another version of that question. તમારા શોખ શું છે? તમારા શોખ શું છે? તમારા શોખ શું છે? What are your hobbies? And for both of them, there's one simple way to answer. મને blah 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 ગમે છે. Whatever you like. You like to play tennis? મને ટેનિસ રમવું ગમે છે. મને વાંચવું ગમે છે. I like to read. મને whatever you like to do. Okay? મને blah 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 ગમે છે. Last one here. How old are you? તમારી ઉંમર કેટલી છે? Word per word. Your age, how much is? Your age, how much is? Sounds kind of funny in English. તમારી ઉંમર કેટલી છે? How old are you? Now, we're going to say to answer, who, your age, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. Who, maybe you're 30. Who, tris, varash, no, chu. If you're a girl, who, tris, varash, ni, chu. So no for boys, ni for girls. Who tris varash no chu, who tris varash ni chu. Who vis varash no chu, I'm 20 years old. Who vis varash ni chu, I'm 20 years old, female. So varash no for masculine, varash ni for feminine. And let's do some practice here. This will actually be almost like a homework assignment in a sense, okay? So I'm going to put a couple slides up here. And they're written in Gujarati. You can practice reading your Gujarati with these slides. These are slides of people introducing themselves. Okay, so I'll leave this on the page for a few minutes or for a few seconds rather. Feel free to pause on YouTube or whatever it is. If you're listening on the podcast, you might have to go to YouTube to find this text, but there's a text here with someone introducing themselves in Gujarati and you can practice reading it. Okay, here's the English, like the Latin letter version of it. So if you're not learning to read in Gujarati, then here's the Latin letter version of it. Here's the next one. This is a guy named Sam introducing himself. Here's the English, the Latin letter version. Here's one more in Gujarati. Here is the Latin letter version of it. And that wraps up this lesson. Perhaps I'll see if there's a lot of comments about this. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. If there's a lot of comments about what words mean in these reading comprehensions, if there's any sentences you have questions about, if there's anything you really are unsure about, just leave a comment or contact me by going to azranthelanguagenerd.com/contact. I'll type it on the screen here. It's also in the description of the episode. So it's AZ or ZREN thelanguagenerd.com/contact. You can send me an email. You can also leave a comment if you'd like in the comment section. If there are like a ton of questions coming through, then I will maybe make a separate video and podcast breaking these texts down to explain what everything means. Okay, let's wrap this up here. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Aujo.